Okay, hello everyone. My name is Daniel Lewis. You'll probably have heard me on a few presentations so far today. I've also got with me Nihao Fakul from OneClick,
Hello,
who
everyone.
is. Oh, how are you, Nihao?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent. So this session is really just to have a sort of demonstration and conversation, a bit of a Q&A session about the OneClick product. This is a product that we've found a few years back now that does a lot more than just present Sage CRM, allow you to present Sage CRM. So what we've done, this is a bit of a different session because of um, the time it would take to actually show you around the product. Rather than do this live, whilst this part of the presentation is live and the Q&A session at the end is going to be live, we are going to be playing a short sort of pre-recorded section just to show you how the product works. So I'll start it off in a second, and then afterwards we're going to be taking Q&A. But hopefully the next short video that you watch will give you a bit more of a demonstration of the OneClick product and how it can work, not just with Sage CRM, which is obviously the topic of this summit, but also actually how it can enable you and your customers to view other Sage applications, maybe desktop applications, and any applications really that they want that are either web or desktop based, all straight from within their web browser.
Hello, and welcome to this Sage CRM Summit session, briefly showing you how Sage CRM and other applications can benefit from utilizing the OneClick Workspace as a Service platform. OneClick is a browser-based application that unifies any software used by your business into a single browser-based platform. Applications can be desktop-based, such as Sage 50, or browser-based, such as Sage CRM. One of the key benefits of using OneClick to present your applications is that none of the actual data is transmitted to the browser session. Instead, all data for applications is run on your own internal or cloud-based architecture. The OneClick platform is merely allowing the users to view and interact with the application. OneClick is accessed by either logging in with a username and password or by using Azure Active Directory services such as Office 365. When first logging in with 365, you'll be asked to enter in your email, password, and then asked if you wish to remain signed in. You are then logged into OneClick and presented with the main tile menu. Subsequent visits to the OneClick website will immediately bring you back to the tile menu. As you can see here, I already have access to a number of applications against my account, including the Sage 200 admin, Sage 200 client, Sage 50 client, a full Sage 50 desktop, Equi2 construction, and Sage CRM. If you select the Sage CRM tile, the Sage CRM application is loaded into the browser. In this particular instance, instead of running Sage CRM via a browser application on the host CRM server, Sage CRM is running in a containerized Chromium browser. We can see at the top of the screen there is a Sage CRM tab within the OneClick platform. Now you may wonder why you want to run Sage CRM or any other browser-based application within OneClick when you can already access it directly via a browser. The main answer to this is security. A lot of companies do not want their data to leave their company network or allow direct internet access to their applications. By using OneClick, the data always stays on the application server, and furthermore, access to the application can be limited down to the OneClick IP address ranges. Therefore, only allowing your browser-based applications to be publicly available via the OneClick workspace. As previously mentioned, it's not just web applications that can be presented via OneClick. Desktop applications can also be run fully within the browser. In this instance, I am launching the Sage 200 UK product directly into the OneClick workspace. As you can see here, all the standard Sage 200 functionality is available to the user through the OneClick Sage 200 tab. You can also load any configured application into the workspace by merely selecting the application tile and, where required, entering in the requested login details. In this instance, I'm going to load the Sage 50 UK application. One key thing to note is that the software does not have to be on the same host computer. In fact, it doesn't even have to be on the same network. Any application can be easily loaded from your one-click workspace regardless of the physical location of that application. I'm now going to spend a few minutes showing you how to configure applications within OneClick so that you can gain a better understanding of the product. The first thing to understand is that OneClick isn't a hosting platform. It still requires the desktop or browser application to reside on a server. The server can be at your office or in the cloud, and each application server can be anywhere in the world. That said, there is inbuilt functionality to link either your own or a OneClick provided subscription to Microsoft Azure. There is also the ability to provide services on the Ionos hosting platform. To configure OneClick, firstly go to the admin tile. I'm not going to cover off all of the options within the admin tile. However, I am going to show you how you can add new resources, i.e. a server, specify the applications available on that server, and then allocate the application to a user. Firstly, to create a new connection, go to the Resources New Connection option and select New Connection. You can then give the connection a name, in this instance Sage 200. This is purely the name of the connection, not the application. Both my Sage CRM and Sage 200 applications reside on the same server. I can then configure one or more IP addresses for the connection by going to the Destination panel and selecting Edit, giving the destination a name and either an IP or host name. I'm going to use 1.1.1.1 for this demo. Once you have configured your server connection, you'll be able to see a PDF file showing the details of the connection on OneClick. This will also specify the IP address OneClick will use to access the connection. This can then be used to limit down remote access to the server based on IP address. Now you can configure the application you wish to use on the previously configured connection. I am going to configure this application as a website application. You then have two options, internal website or public website. The internal website is a website running on one of your connections. A public website is a website publicly available. However, a large amount of public application websites allow you to specify access only from certain IP addresses, so this option could be used in that instance. I'm now going to enter the URL for the website I wish to run. In this instance, http://1.1.1.1/CRM. I can then specify whether I want to use one-click website access protection and whether I want the browser session to be able to save login credentials. I can then configure the tile, the label, color, and icon. OneClick have added a Sage icon to their tile configuration. I can then click Save to save the application configuration. The last thing to do is to specify what users can access our newly configured Sage CRM application. I can select the newly configured application from the Apps menu and then select the user who I wish to have access to the app, and then finally click Save. The new Sage CRM tile is then immediately available on the user's workspace. I hope you've enjoyed this short session on how to run Sage CRM on the OneClick unified workspace.
Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. It just was designed to be able to outline how the product can be used both with Sage CRM and other Sage and third-party applications. The basic idea being that you have an application hosted on an RDS server, or if it's a web browser or a web browser or a web server somewhere, and then point all of those applications through the one-click log on, so that the authentication of who logs on, the username and password, or the Active Directory authentication adds a second layer of two-factor authentication over the top. You can also add things like Google Authenticator or PIN authentication as well if you wanted to. But actually, when we logged into, for example, Sage 200, you'll notice that none of the users' details were ever typed in. The one-click application took care of all of the either the VP or the direct VPN or direct IP access to the application, and it took care of all of the authentication. All the user needed to do is click on the tile, and everything else happened in the background and worked. So I'm just going to split the questions out on the screen, and we will have a bit of a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please ask in the Q&A. Both myself and Nihal are available for this. So we've had one question in so far, Nihal, and this is, what is the pricing structure of OneClick? So I guess this is an easy one for me at the moment. The answer to that is it all depends on how many applications they are running and the amount of users you have and stuff like that. So generally, if you want a single application version of OneClick where they can just run Sage CRM or just run Sage 50 or whatever, then that generally sits around the £4.50, maybe £5 per month per user mark. If you want them to run 2 applications or more with the ability to see all of the different tiles, etc., rather than on the single application, you just log in and it just starts up that application. Then that starts from about £12 per month per user, and then you have all that functionality. And there's obviously different prices and price breaks and stuff like that as well. So hopefully that answers that one. One here from Amy. So Amy Pittock. So can you export to Excel, etc., from within Sage apps? Does Excel need to be an app within OneClick, or would it open up on the local Excel if installed? Unfortunately not. You can run Excel, but it would need to be Excel running on the server that OneClick's looking at. So you'd then have like a whole hosted desktop. It's much the same with any kind of workspace as a service provision. So it would load up Excel, but it would still only load up Excel on the desktop of the computer you're logged onto. It wouldn't actually upload that onto your local one. You can export via OneClick. If you're running a product and you're exporting, you can export and then save that exported file down to your local desktop, but it won't actually screen pop a separate application off your local desktop. And part of the reason is that a lot of the actual presentation of the software is actually sat on the server, so the data never actually leaves your server. It always just gets presented from it. Next question, maybe one for you, Nihal, if you wanted to answer it. How is it more secure than RDP with a VPN?
You mean the RDS VPN, RDP VPN?
Yeah, RDS.
Yeah. So So the biggest problem with VPN is security. So when you have a VPN straight into brick and mortar or your corporate environment, you are at risk from any malware or ransomware or any sort of hacks and attacks through the end user device, which is connecting through the VPN. What OneClick does is it decouples the entire corporate environment from the end user environment. So there is no there is no route for the malware or ransomware to infect your corporate environment. So that's the biggest biggest sort of a selling point of OneClick, that by just deploying your applications over OneClick, you're automatically securing your corporate environment from any risks coming from your end user devices.
Yeah, but I guess what sort of something to add to that is it can actually work like RDP over VPN. There is an option to do a VPN tunnel between the server that's running the application and your local system if you want. But also you're taking away the security layer from the end user of actually of needing to know their username and passwords. So the system actually creates that tunnel and does all of the setting up of the username and passwords and administration via a key administrator. So for example, the internal network administrator could completely change everyone's username and passwords. All they would need to do is change that within the OneClick system and the software would continue to work. The user doesn't actually need to know any of their passwords onto any of the applications or any of the servers or existing infrastructure. The other benefit as well is that the infrastructure doesn't have to be on the same location. So a lot of the time with these RDP products, you have a remote app type server, it's all on your network and it serves them out. This could actually have a Sage Accounts application on their local server. It can have CRM hosted in the cloud. It can have other applications that they want to use in the cloud. And all they do is log on to OneClick, click a button, and open it goes. Excellent. So hopefully that's okay for that, Dom. So we've got Paul Karam. We are transitioning to Office 365. Does OneClick work with Office 365? And if so, what is the best practice with an Office 365 environment? Are you happy to answer that one, Nihal?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, OneClick works with any application, whether it's Windows or Unix based. So Office 365, absolutely. For transitioning to Office 365, I mean, we don't. You'd be just pointing to Office 365 itself, and we provide an online documentation on how to do this within OneClick, so how to create that connection. If there are any issues, we can also help and support you through OneClick support, and it's really easy. Daniel, have you actually done this before with Office 365?
Yeah, so you can, depending on how you want to do, depending on what applications you're obviously running through 365. If you're just talking about Outlook and Excel, etc., and even the desktop applications, they can all be deployed and loaded onto tiles, and we can set people up with sort of test accounts, and on that test account, it does run Outlook, Word, and Excel, etc., on that test account, just to show how that works, and you can manage those subscriptions from there. And you can obviously then load up because it can use Microsoft AD logon. It automatically passes those credentials about, so that's fine. And the other benefit you've got as well is if you use Azure for any applications or even for VM hosting, you can actually point OneClick at your subscription in Windows Azure and provision your own servers, provision client desktops, and everything else that you like, all from within your OneClick application. So you can actually say, I want this person to have a new full hosted desktop with these applications, and it can provision that all from within the gateway.
And it's super easy. It only takes about 6 steps to deliver an Azure VM or a VM in Azure location of your choice. And also the connections are very quickly made, so it is possible to deliver, say, a server with few clients within a matter of hours. So it's super easy and super quick to deliver.
Excellent. Is there any more questions from anyone? Obviously, you can contact us at a later date as well if you wanted to find out a bit more. We can pass you details of Nihal, etc. This is a global product. It's not just a UK product. So they have people and support running all over the place. If there's no more questions, just waiting to see if any more come in. Okay, no more questions. So thanks from myself for attending this session. Hopefully you've seen some benefits of how these type of products can potentially work and how OneClick can work to serve base Sage CRM and other Sage applications out. That's all from me.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity, Daniel.
Excellent, no problem at all. All right, thanks everyone, and thanks for attending, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.